Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And I'm about to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find these energies in, we can expect to see them reflected back to us in the outside world. So we can learn things from about actual people in our lives and things about our environment and manifesting what we want, etc. There's a bird that just flew right at me. Um, but we're really just seeing the energy that's within, and we have to make changes within and shift our own beliefs and ideas in order to see those changes happen outside of ourselves. All right, so today's my day off. I took my time today. I did my morning pages practice. Divine Feminine is going first because Divine Masculine did not reveal any cards today, but he's overthinking. So there's something going on with him. He's being secretive and thinking a lot. Top of the deck, overall heart space for the Divine Feminine. Excuse me, is the Five of Swords in reverse. So this is a card about battling. In traditional OG Smith-Waite imagery, we see one individual with three swords walking away from a fight, leaving behind another individual with two swords. So it's like the three swords, the three of swords, like that pain, that heartbreak. There's like something like you're seeing sort of the wounds that were inflicted from that three of swords now has resulted in this battling energy. That's the original imagery. In the Fountain Tarot, we see an individual who's actually balancing on two swords and wielding three, which is an interesting way to look at this card because it is definitely about giving up, being defeated by something that feels impossible. How impossible would this be? There's two individuals here in the background and one individual fighting himself too. And it's definitely, when we're seeing it in its reversal, it's a card that's really about not wanting to accept defeat, not wanting to accept some kind of a defeat, really wanting, if we've just experienced this grief and this heartbreak and this three of swords energy, or these wounds that we've had in the past, not wanting to allow these wounds to make it feel like it's impossible for us to have what it is that we deserve. So, really not interested in laying down and allowing these old wounds and limiting beliefs to run the show anymore. Divine Feminine is like, nope, not interested. I don't care what happened before. I'm not going to fight like new things, new experiences because I'm still feeling sad about etc. The niggling feeling in the back of her mind, or the niggling thought, the thing that's kind of underlying everything, is Queen of Wands energy. So we have her in her action energy. She's holding her vision. She's really in her passion right now for herself and for what it is that she wants to do in the world. And this is underlying everything. This is why she doesn't feel ready to accept defeat in regards to being able to see what it is that she wants manifest here in reality. So she's in a really strong and powerful energy, and she's not at all in the shadow of the Queen of Wands. She's not being defensive because of the wounds that were inflicted from this Three of Swords. She's not allowing that to stop her from having a new idea about herself, so to speak. The first thing on her mind is the Page of Pentacles. And this is such a lovely image. I don't know that I've seen the page yet from the Fountain Tarot. But that child energy is just lovely. It's, when I see this card, I usually associate it with kind of a negative energy because it's always appearing for Divine Masculine as a feeling of like a less than feeling, like he doesn't have worthiness. But in this case, I see this really joyful, playful energy, and the the receiving of that pentacle with delight, and not concerned with the size of the pentacle as divine masculine is usually concerned. As Eric's from Positive Tarot Wisdom in our live reading yesterday, if you missed it, it's available on his Instagram. Um, Not a size queen, he said of himself. Divine Feminine's not either. We have her here in this energy of really loving even the smallest gestures she's getting, the smallest signs in the material world. Like, I keep seeing like bird messengers now because I face the window so I can see a lot of what's going on instead of before when I was facing the wall in my old arrangement of this room. And every time I see one, I let myself pause and just breathe. And it's delightful. It's like I wasn't seeing nature before. I wasn't looking for it. I was stuck inside of this apartment and isolated. And I don't even have a plant because I just kill them. So also it's 10:44. I just saw that. So I'm seeing more nature now. And I'm like delighted by even that little bit of sky. Even I have like there's definitely birds that live here, and they like there's this whole pattern with them, and there's like intruders. Like I can watch this whole thing and I'm delighted by it. And it's like it doesn't matter how small it is. Like it's just very pleasing to her right now, and she's in a new energy and wanting to create something new and start something new, craft something new, make something new. And because of another card in her spread, I know for sure that the fact that this is just a page energy isn't bothering her. It's actually kind of delighting her to figure out like where is this going to go. And the fountain is back. Now the fountain was here yesterday in a bit of the overthinking that she was doing, and we read from the book that this is an additional card. It is outside of the major arcana numbering system, just like the Fool. It exists on the outside, sort of like the Fool is at the beginning and the fountain is the culmination. And it's a card that represents sort of this modern um, experience of coming together that we have through like our digital experience, right? Because we have been able through our communications kind of to have a way to visualize how we are all interconnected. It's about interconnectedness and becoming one, and also drawing from the fountain, right, which is that source that we all hail from, I guess. This is the second thing on her mind. So I think what I'm seeing is that she's seeing in these small gestures that are being made from herself, from potentially a divine masculine energy, if there's that. She's seeing a coming together, a merging together of all that has been into one. And then we're seeing the Emperor. So when we see the Emperor for divine feminine, this is, of course, the divine masculine energy. It's all of the kings embodied in one energy. It's a fixed energy, a rigid energy, a stubborn energy, but powerful with a strong foundation and abundant, and really, you don't get more empowered than you do by the Emperor and Empress cards in the deck. So she's seeing that from these small gestures, from these small steps, as all these pieces come together, as all things are drawn together like they are in that fountain energy, all of the things that she needs, all of the pieces, all of the components are coming together. They grow from this page of coins into the Emperor, which is the most solid and able to be realized in the physical. She's also thinking of divine masculine in this Emperor energy. The next thing that is very interesting Because what is clarifying the Page of Coins is the Ten of Coins, or Pentacles, if we're talking about OG Smith Waite imagery. And the Ten of Pentacles in this case is in its reverse. And so there is a sense here that because this is in such an early stage of development, we've not yet reached this manifestation completely. We're not seeing the full realization. The powerful energy that's behind this will bring this Ten of Pentacles to us. But we're just not seeing it quite reach its fulfillment yet, but she feels it's coming. She's also really working hard not to be attached to any kind of outcome or any kind of expectations about what this will constitute. She knows, because of all the pieces coming together, and that the divine masculine energy is entering into his power. She knows that she's going to experience this Ten of Pentacles, but she does not want to even try to imagine exactly what it's going to look like. She just wants to receive it. And I'm confident about that because the next card is the Knight of Cups, and it's upright. So we have a divine feminine feeling ready to receive from this fountain, because that's what's being clarified. So this final coming together, all of the pieces falling into place, and being completely open to receiving this very new energy, these small gestures that have built up over time into this great outpouring of love from this Emperor energy. And she doesn't want to concern herself with what this looks like. She just wants to receive all of the emotion, all of the love, all of the information that she's been seeking. And then we have the Seven of Swords, and it's upright, and it's clarifying this Emperor energy. So there is something about being hidden, strategizing, clever, sly energy, and deception of some kind. So the outpouring that she would like to experience, that she wants to be open to receiving, she wants this information that comes to be revealed from this Emperor, who's been very tight-lipped about exactly what he plans to bring her. So it's like she senses this offer. She knows the pieces are coming together. She knows it's coming from an Emperor. She doesn't know what it constitutes. She's open to receiving it, and she's okay with the surprise element. She's okay with what is hidden. She feels how powerful this Emperor energy is, and she knows that this is going to be revealed. And this is the vision she's holding. Love that honking horn for us. Okay. So we have top of the deck for the heart space. Ten of Cups. So we've got the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. So we have completion of a cycle for sure for Divine Feminine, having to do with her fears regarding receiving offers, etc. And her heart, at the center of her heart is this spiritual fulfillment. It's in her heart what constitutes this Ten of Pentacles. You know, a loving relationship and partnership, family, experiencing abundance together, happiness, and, you know, having it all. And of course, in OG Smith Waite imagery, this is going to be a family, a patriarch, the dog, like, you know, a material wealth here in the material world. So her heart feels the spiritual fulfillment, and because of that, her head knows that this material fulfillment is on its way, but she's not trying to know what it's about. She's holding a vision of the essence of what it is that she desires, and she's not trying to discover exactly what this constitutes. She's really content in her heart space with simply feeling this spiritual fulfillment she's been feeling from being her own partner, being her own provider, protector, and giving herself the essence of the things she was demanding from this other person. This has brought her into her emperor energy. And so now she can attract someone who's in that same place. The niggling feeling in her heart space is this lover's energy again, and it's still in its reversal. If we didn't see this contentment in her heart space, seeing the niggling feeling of this lover's energy and might make me feel that she was afraid that she wasn't going to have her union. But understanding that she's already feels the spiritual fulfillment, what I'm seeing instead is, even without the physical manifestation of this lover's energy in my life, I am spiritually fulfilled. And consequently, that makes me in my emperor energy and perfectly capable of attracting an emperor. And it's imminent that this will happen. The Three of Wands. Patience. Feeling that the pieces are coming together, right? This Page of Pentacles, this like start, this new beginning, this new, well, not necessarily new beginning. New beginning would be more of like a Page of Wands energy, but this new material offer, new gestures, new behaviors that are taking place, coming together, pieces coming together on both sides, right? Because this is what was coming out next in her headspace, and it has the same meaning here. This is like the minor arcana version of this card. All of those pieces coming together. This cosmic connection between all the parts magnetically attracting. She's patient with it. She knows if she starts something, if she starts to make these small steps towards what it is that she desires, the pieces will fall into place and she will arrive. Then we have the Seven of Swords again. So we have union in head and heart. There is a mystery here. There is something that is hidden. There is some kind of strategy. But I don't see like, this isn't an energy that she's worried about cheating, or I know people associate with that with the Seven of Swords, but it's not like that. It's really about things being hidden, not revealed, about strategies for going forward. And she's feeling like the things that she doesn't know, she's not meant to know. And she kept resisting this. She kept asking for signs, and she would get signs, and she would just be like, okay, does that mean this or does that mean that? Trying to get the answer from her divine masculine, or from the messages she was getting, or from the readings she was watching, or whatever. But what she's realizing is that she has to be comfortable with that uncertainty. That was a card that was coming up a couple of days ago. She has to be uncomfortable. She has to be comfortable with uncertainty and understand that there is this cosmic force that's pulling all of these hidden components together. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and it's clarifying the Emperor. So she feels the Emperor is finishing something, completing something, working on something. And that something also involves the releasing of the attachment to the material abundance that keeps him rigid and controlling. She's herself feeling that she needs to shift into the energy where she's creating something, where she's really working on her craft. She's resisting work herself right now because of her focus on the Emperor. So it's really hard for her to be able to focus on her work. But she senses that this divine masculine is completing whatever it is he's working on. And so she needs to get busy and work on her own stuff so that she can distract herself from noticing that he's not here and be able to finally attract that energy to her. As long as she's noticing he's not here, she's just getting that over and over and over again. There's 10 of Pentacles. is clarified by the Two of Wands in reverse. So we have the Twin Flame card. The Two of Wands, though, is about having to wait. Having to wait. It's about asking and waiting for it to be given. The Three of Wands shows up and you're in the energy of the pieces falling into place. And this is, of course, clarifying the Three of Wands. So it's like we've asked and we're ready to receive because we saw that Knight of Cups. So we're progressing now from this Two of Wands energy where we're at the crossroads and we're just waiting into the patience of the Three of Wands, because now we know the pieces are going to be there building this bridge for us to get from where we are to where we want to go. Now we're certain that the small steps that we've taken to make this happen in reality has really become effective and has motion behind it. There's also some of us in the collective that have chosen to walk away from a twin, to walk away from the idea of happiness that they had with a specific iteration with that 10 of Pentacles in reverse. There's that divergent part. Remember, there's a collective of people who are feeling like, oh no, this is happening and they're waiting and they're ready for it right now. And then there are those that have just gone into separation. And for those that have just gone into separation, they're like, you know what? This could be my twin. It could not be my twin. I don't give a fuck. But I choose me. I choose my happiness. I'm walking away from the specific idea that I had about what this journey meant for me. And I'm trusting the pieces are going to fall into place and I'll be led in the right direction. So that's another reading that's coming from those two cards. And then we have the Knight of Cups, clarified by the Knight of Wands in reverse. So Divine Feminine I think she's really afraid that what she's seeing coming from Divine Masculine right now, what she's ready to receive, she's afraid might be this old behavior. She's really trying to release any fears she has about this not being consistent, about him not sticking around, about him not following through. She's in her headspace countering these fears and being like, no, I'm open to receive, and therefore the Divine Masculine energy is going to come and fill my cup with the overflow from his cup that's filled from the source and not from me. And we're going to have this healthy Two of Cups energy. So she's afraid that she's just going to get the Knight of Wands when what she wants is the Knight of Cups. So there's that lingering fear there for her. She's thinking like, please don't do this to me again. Like, there's a lot of emotion behind that. Like, please don't do this to me again. And then the Five of Wands in reverse, clarifying that Seven of Swords. So there's this understanding that as she's unblocking herself, as she stops fighting against herself, and we have two cards that are about ending the fight, right? No longer being willing to fight against yourself at all in this Five of Wands energy, and then not being willing to accept defeat in regards to what you have been fighting for. So she wants to unblock so that she can finally see these things revealed to her. All right. That's where Divine Feminine is. Let's look at Divine Masculine. I haven't seen any of his cards. Oh, no. Oh, no. And getting a call at the same time. Okay. Wow. Divine Masculine, top of the deck. Overall headspace for you. Strength in reverse. So strength was here yesterday. It was a niggling feeling or a niggling thought maybe, and it was upright. Maybe it was 2 days ago. I don't remember. It's all blending together now. But now what we're seeing is feeling that you are testing the strength of the connection, the strength of divine feminine, being worried, like, is she going to have enough strength to hold out? I got something good, but I need her to hold out. You're also feeling a little bit weak yourself, feeling like you need strength, but you don't want to try to pull it or draw it from divine feminine anymore. Your ego was it was yesterday we saw strength, because your ego was out of control in yesterday's reading. You were really feeling some type of way about yourself and about your material world presentation. There was something going on yesterday, something intense. And so I think you're just aware that what's come to the forefront of your mind is like that your ego is a little bit out of control and that you need to get it under control, and that you don't want to let this pride you have get in the way of what it is that you want to do, because you want to be very vulnerable, which is difficult for you. Your pride makes it so difficult for you to appear vulnerable to anyone outside of divine feminine. And even with divine feminine, you're uncomfortable, but you are more comfortable being vulnerable with her as long as it's in secret and no one else knows. So you want to be stronger, but you don't want to test divine feminine strength anymore. You don't want to try to draw from her because you are worried about depleting her and potentially testing the strength of the connection to the point where it breaks. In the back of your mind is the Six of Swords in reverse. So, because of the first thing on your mind, I'm not worried that this is you not learning your lessons, because this is a card about lessons learned type of a thing. But that's not what's going on. You are trying to trust in the strength that divine feminine has. You're trying to let go of your ego that has told you that you have to save the connection, or you have to save. There's some like savior damsel in distress. We get the damsel card sometimes. It's like that. Like, you don't want to think of divine feminine as someone weak who needs to be saved by you. That's like an old story that you had about it, and you're working on letting that go. You've learned your lesson in regards to that. You are uncomfortable in uncertainty, though, and it's making you feel a little out of control, that you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know exactly where you're going, and it's making you feel a little bit weak or something, like not completely in command, because you're always in command and you're letting yourself move to a point where you're trying to surrender to the divine, and it makes you feel like very uncomfortable. You're practicing, right? You're practicing and you're like, I don't like this because I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to play this piece at the end. And it's so hard and it's difficult. And when I play it, it sounds bad and I don't like it, but I know that I have to keep trying. There's a lot of that going on. The first thing on your mind is the Hierophant, and it's upright. And that's why I'm saying the Six of Swords in its reverse, which is kind of like the minor arcana energy of this card. It didn't make me think that you weren't learning your lessons. I do think you have really learned your lessons, and you've moved into a higher level of understanding and clarity about what this journey has constituted and about what you've needed to shift and change in yourself. And so I do think that you have learned your lessons. This is also, of course, it's a card about marriage and legal contracts, higher level relationships. It's about faith and sacred union. So because your fears about the connection, the strength of the connection being challenged right now are present, the thing that you keep trying to come back to is having faith in the sacred union. You feel connected to this divine feminine energy. So you're just trying to keep your faith in it. You're also concerned about the observation of authority figures in your life. So people who still maintain some kind of control. rigid and controlling, limiting beliefs from society or from a particular belief system or from an individual or a person in your life who has a very rigid idea of things, your own rigidity, your own beliefs and tradition, and how things should go, and things happening one after the other. There's some concern about being observed by these outside authority figures or outside energy. Um, because I see that, like, he's got that. He's like, look, he's like watching. There's like a spotlight on him, something about that. The second thing on his mind is the magician energy. So it's again in its reversal. It was in its reversal yesterday. And I think it's just because he is still feeling powerless and he's not completely using all the tools that he has to manifest what he's desiring. He's also feeling, by that fear of that observation of what's happening, he's feeling powerless to the effects of this, of what will happen from that observation. He feels like he doesn't have control over what's going to happen, but he's surrendering. Now this is wonderful because the Hanged Man was in its reversal in his heart space yesterday because because his heart was urging him to surrender, and now we see it appearing in his headspace, and he has surrendered. So he is now at this point where he's gaining this perspective. He's surrendering because of this Two of Swords that will not leave him. This is what's clarifying the Hierophant. We have a divine feminine petting a cat here on a bench, and there are two swords in the ground. And there's a moon, and there's this hidden energy, and there are these two flying birds in the moon. So there's like, and there's the boat back here that we can kind of assume would be that Six of Swords energy that's coming up. And it's this card about a standstill and not wanting to make a choice, because if you make one choice, you're going to hurt one party and the other choice is going to hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt. You or someone else. And because this is clarifying a card about marriage, there's the potential that for you to go forward into a new marriage will cause pain. And you're surrendering to the divine because I can see what choice you want to make and what choice you are going to make. And you're just surrendering to what will happen. You're trying not to let your fears about this authority observing this decision that you're going to make, the past, could be the past marriage, but it could be an ex-spouse or someone that you were committed to for a long time, or like it could be just baby mama energy, but or like whatever, baby daddy energy, depending, because it's not gender or whatever based, it's energy based. But there could be just this concern about that observation of that authority figure, that person that had control, that rigid belief system, whatever. So you feel powerless to that authority. You feel powerless to that person and how they will accept or take this information, or that group or whatever it is. So you feel powerless to that, and you're surrendering that decision, that choice to the divine, because you don't want to make it. So that's why you haven't done anything, because you don't want to be the one that makes that choice. But the Nine of Cups is clarifying what you feel powerless about. You feel powerless about your heart's desire, your wish to be with divine feminine. And when you get the Nine of Cups in the spread, it means that you get your wish. So even though you don't know how, because you don't know if you have the strength, you don't know if you have the ability to ferry this union from this place of strife to sanctuary, through this obstacle of this overpowering authority that's watching you. You know that you're going to get this wish anyway. And that's why you're surrendering. You're like, I can't make this choice. make this choice for me. And when you think about it, you realize there is no other choice. You have to walk away from what doesn't serve you. This is the perspective that you've needed. This looks so much like Five of Cups, like dejected, sadness, depression, looking upon the spilled cups, not knowing about the 2 cups behind you. This card, just in the Cosmic Tarot, has that feeling of a 5 of Cups energy. And if you don't walk away from what doesn't serve you, you're regressing, right? Because this came out first. The 9 of Cups is here first. Getting your wish. Feeling powerless to what it is that you desire. Feeling selfish that you want to make this choice that's going to cause pain because it's what you want. But you know that you have to walk away. The perspective you gained by surrendering is you have to walk away from the things that don't serve you towards your higher calling. Here's the Star in its reversal. This is the divine feminine that you were relying on to help you with your healing. She's been like a star, but she's been hidden in the dark. You haven't been showing her because you've been afraid of that observation coming from outside, external observation, and that it would be hurtful in some way. So you've kept her hidden. But you can't do this anymore. When you walk away towards your higher calling, it's towards divine feminine. That's your wish, right? There's your wish. And it's touching down now to the earth. You're holding on this hope. You are desperate to hold this hope that when you walk away from your fears about this authority that is observing you, that you will get your wish, that you will be able to reveal divine feminine to others, to satisfy her and yourself, because you want to be able to be authentically you. And there's the Knight of Swords, swiftly coming in with truth, directness, clarity, following a plan of action, and not coming willy-nilly. This is not a Knight of Wands energy. This is about communication of the truth. This is about revealing what's been hidden in the Seven of Swords energy that divine feminine has become comfortable accepting of at this point, understanding that she's not meant to know. There's the truth in this sword that she is meant to know. And it's paired with the Ace of Cups, which is having that cup filled up, overflowing, being able to share with divine feminine. And there's divine feminine open and ready to receive it from the divine masculine. So despite his fears, despite his worries about whether or not he has the strength and the power to do what it is that he wants to do, he's surrendering his fears. He's choosing to walk away from what doesn't serve him, to reveal his divine feminine to others, to reveal the truth swiftly, and to offer her his love. And the top of the deck, overall energy of his heart space, is the Empress. Yep, it's the Empress and the Emperor. And we have divine feminine with her divine masculine energy in her headspace, and divine masculine with his divine feminine energy in his heart space. That is integration. So that's good. Divine masculine at the center of his heart is the divine feminine energy integrated, accepted. You couldn't have your Ace of Cups filled and ready to go if you didn't have divine feminine integrated inside of you, because Ace of Cups means you have to be willing to be in touch with your emotions, be connected to them, receive them, feel them, fill them up from the divine. He's seeing divine feminine as beautiful, fertile, abundant, creative. She has the potential for new life growing within her, and he wants to plant those seeds. He wants to be with her and grow something, an empire. The niggling thing in the back of his mind? No, not in his mind, in his heart space. The niggling feeling is the hermit. So he's in isolation, soul searching, but it's that divine feminine energy that is leading him. It's that mystery that's between them. It's that feeling, it's that pull, it's that magic that is leading him, and the light from the star energy also that leads him in that darkness in himself, trying to figure out exactly how to have enough strength, enough will, and enough power to make this choice that he's been really reluctant to make. King of Pentacles upright again. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. And it's not like we're not going to see a divine masculine ever going through an energy where he doesn't feel like the King of Pentacles again. Like where he might go into a feeling that he's not his, it's not like his worthiness energy is forever after this moment going to be this. But right now it is this. Right now he feels like he has a foundation. He can be the provider. He can be the protector. He's got the bull by the horns. He's material. He's in the material world. He's not in the dream space. He feels confident. He's learned his lessons about how to feel this way. And he understands that because he is this, he has the power to face off the fears he has in regards to this energy. This rigid, traditional energy. He's equipped. And there's the Four of Wands, which is the minor arcana version of the marriage aspect of the Hierophant. Sacred union, celebration, the spiritual foundation in place to have a really beautiful, loving relationship, to have a physical union. And this is what's clarifying what he's powerless to. He's powerless to the sacred union. And that Hierophant energy was on the other side of this card. So he's powerless to the draw that has. He really wants to be able to manifest it. He's afraid in his headspace. He's worried that he doesn't have the power to manifest what it is that he wants, but he knows what he wants. This Reverie card, which is outside of the major arcana in the Prisma Visions deck. This is a card with a question mark on it. It's about uncertainty. It's also about play and escape, being in a reverie, right? And this is what's clarifying the Hanged Man. So this perspective is, I have to stop playing, right? I have to stop playing around. I have to stop letting my uncertainty cause me to just play games and stay in this place where I'm just playing at being a King of Pentacles instead of really being a King of Pentacles. I need to come out of the dream space, come out of this fantasy, take this perspective I've gained by going within in my soul search and come out into the 3D. The standstill, this choice he doesn't want to have to make. Oh my, okay. Oh shit, okay. The choice he doesn't want to have to make has to do with this 3 of Pentacles energy. So something about his work, the work that he does, in And the Three of Pentacles, you're starting to work to build up a foundation to get you into that Four of Pentacles energy. So it's not just about work. It's also just about 3D, like reality. The standstill, he's not wanted to make a choice about collaborating physically in the physical world with divine feminine. That's what he's been stuck with, trying to figure out. Do I actually do this? Do I stay in that reverie? Or do I stay because it's beautiful here and so I could just make things for her forever. I could just create things for her by myself forever. And then she would always have these things and it would be my eternal love for her. And wow, wouldn't that be great to be in a state of longing until I died? How epic. But the perspective he's gained is that he can't stay in that reverie forever. He has to make a choice. He has to choose to come forward and bring this into reality. If he's going to make something for her, he's got to tell the rest of the world that that's what he's doing. And he's going to. Because there's the fucking Ace of Cups again. Filled up, ready to go. And what else do you notice about this Ace of Cups? It's a fountain. All the things coming together from that one eternal source, that interconnectedness. There's the moon here, and it's clarifying his wish to be able to offer this cup to divine feminine, to be able to share, not to hoard anymore his feelings and emotions, not to selfishly guard against her knowing that this is how he feels and what he thinks. This is his wish, to have his reward, which is the Nine of Pentacles. So that's Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles. And this is what's clarifying this overthinking. If he walks away from what doesn't serve him, if he finally reveals the divine feminine that he's kept hidden, if he speaks the truth, if he offers this cup, he can have his reward, which is to be physically with divine feminine. Cool. All right, let's look at the oracles for divine feminine. Y'all got a manageable amount today. So it's a little better. Yesterday, you both had like a Bible's worth of oracle messages. Coming in on that hour and 20 minutes yesterday, I was like, okay, calm down. All right, divine feminine, you're in your light attributes of the destroyer energy, which is interesting because I'm staring at Pele, who was our goddess yesterday at the end of our reading. And I'm seeing a volcano again, and you are releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for a new life. And I think that's why I saw this delight here too, this childish delight, preparing for this new life. And that's why you don't care what size it is, because you're just so delighted for this. You're releasing the destructive things that kept you from enjoying the purity of that Ace of Pentacles. That's what this card is there, the destroyer. Saint Teresa of Lisieux, the little flower, is here to support you in your steady progress. Again, I'm going to pull that again. Page of Coins. Steady progress, making these small steps towards this material desire that you have, to realizing that 10 of Pentacles energy. She's supporting slow and steady. And this is also, this was, oh my gosh, clarified. Yay, words. Clarified by this Three of Wands energy, which is this patience with the pieces falling together. This literally is a slow and steady energy. Little by little, bit, by hook or by crook, right? This card again. What if Source were standing in my physical shoes? It's not your job to make something happen. Divine Masculine, I think, got this yesterday. It's not your job to make something happen. You simply consciously feel your way into your alignment. So you decide what it is that you want very clearly. That's your only work. Just be very clear about what you want, knowing that the universe does not know exclusion. So you really want to take your time, write it down with pen onto paper, clarify what it is that you want. Once you have that clarity, surrender it. Oop, it's gone. Gave it to the divine. And then act in complete faith that it is slowly and steadily progressing to you. And you don't have to do anything to make it happen. It's taken care of. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. When you have that kind of faith, it's done. It's done. That's when you get it. If you doubt it, if you fear you aren't worthy of it, if you fear you can't keep it, if you fear that it might make you bad, like if you think rich people are bad, good luck. Just clear the way. Clear the way. You can't make the thing happen, but you can clear the way to receive the thing and believe that it's coming. Believe that it's coming. Prosperity. Also, this reversal in Moonology for me, when it says prosperity lies ahead and it's reversed, nope. It's not ahead of you. It's right now. If you can't see your own prosperity, you're going to have a hard time seeing any new potential prosperity, right? You have to feel prosperous in this moment. I live in the inner city of Los Angeles. My view, not the greatest. The streets, not the cleanest. I'm manifesting a dog, and I was thinking about how I would be worried about him getting glass in his paws. Like, it's that kind of streets, right? I live in a affordable housing complex. The rent is super low. The maintenance is super low. The quality is not the greatest. And yet, somehow, starting here with literally with nothing, because I was always at a deficit when I first moved into the apartment, even though it was affordable, I was still having to try to find any way possible to pay for it. So I spent a good 6 months with no furniture outside of like an air mattress and piano benches and live stage gear. So I had like my DJ table and like a keyboard stand, and I was like, okay, this is what I have. And somehow I would still manage to feel prosperous because I had this really big space in Los Angeles. I mean, that's not easy to do no matter where you find yourself. If I focused on the lack, lousy neighborhood, lousy building, lousy maintenance, so noisy, can't deal with it, blah 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 blah, I felt the lack. I couldn't pay for things, I couldn't get extra things I wanted. I had to ask like my parents to cover my phone bill, like humiliating shit. I'm 40. Are you kidding? Ugh, hate that. Not 40. I'm not 40. I'm 39. Regardless, when I felt I lived in a place that wasn't prosperous, that's what I got. When I was like, you know what? I don't care that I don't have any furniture. I'm going to take all of my books and color code them and put them on the shelf in the I have like this walk through to the bathroom that's got like a shelf up there. And I was like, I'm going to make this look like Martha Stewart designed it, even though it's this. And I did that. It made me feel so good. And then every time I would walk past that room, I'd be like, oh, it looks nice. And then I just kept doing that wherever I can, however I could, from the dollar store if I had to. And now I've come to a point where I look around and I don't think it looks like I live where I live. You could hear the sirens, but it looks nice, right? There is prosperous always in the moment. It's not just ahead of you. It's here. And if you can't figure out where it is here, if you can't make yourself feel like I bought this beautiful green robe for myself that I've been talking about the last few days, and I couldn't wait to wear it. Today's Friday. I took my time today. It's 11:33 and 55 minutes on the clock right now. No big deal. Anyway, I like let myself feel luxurious. That's what you have to do. Create the prosperity you want to see right now with what you have available to you, with all the tools you have available, even if it's just your imagination, even if you have nothing and you're back into this apartment with when all there was a DJ table and a piano bench and an air mattress. And all I could do was either play piano, work on my studio until my back hurt, or lay on an air mattress with a book. Like those were my three choices in this space. And I would close my eyes and imagine I had a nice couch. And I would imagine I had, the ability to do this and this and this until it happened. You just have to see that prosperity around you now. You are birthing a new age and dreaming a new world into creation, and that is a difficult, physically demanding process. And divine masculine sees you in this energy as the empress. He can see that you have been gestating this vision and that Queen of Wands energy of what it is that you desire to happen here in the material. And you're about to see this new thing that starts with that Page of Pentacles energy come to be. We're getting the protection message of Butterfly Spirit today, which is transformation is beautiful. And the protection message is transformation does not have to be as traumatic or dramatic as things may seem to be right now. Remember, change is the only true constant. When you resist it, you create a tension within you as you refuse to accept the inevitable. In this moment, you might have forgotten the beauty and joy of life as it moves through its seasons, as nature dictates. You're being faced with a choice now. You can struggle with the current conditions, refusing to surrender, and see through the lens of lack and loss, or you can surrender to the grace that is calling you to allow life to take its course, moving through the sadness and disappointment. Surrender will soften you, inviting you to bask in gratitude and see through the lens of curiosity. These are the keys to turning into the infinite potential available to you now. Butterfly Spirit knows the beauty and delight you are on the brink of discovering. Let go and trust that it is there for you. All right, we got that message again. I think we got it at the beginning of the week or something. So heed the message. All right, divine masculine, you are in the light attributes of my favorite, the hedonist. It inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrates the beauty in yourself. So you're basking right now in a tropical paradise of the good life. You're releasing the shadow attributes, which is a pursuing pleasure to the detriment of health and indulging at the expense of others. So you're in a good place right now with your revelry that was in its reverse there in your heart space. You are actually in the light energy of it. You're embracing the good things and you're celebrating beauty. Honestly, you really feel this love from the divine feminine, and it's making you feel good. Saint Christopher is here to help you in regards to travel. This is safe travel. So there might be travel in your future soon, or you're about to travel, you are traveling, you want to travel. There's something about it, but you're supported in this energy. Saint Christopher is also the saint who, as he was ferrying people across the water, he realized that this infant that he was ferrying was actually Christ. Like the baby got heavier and heavier and heavier, and he realized that he was carrying the weight of the world upon him, and it was Christ himself. And so he's the Christ bearer, Christopher, Christ bearer. So he brought this energy of healing and miracles and love and everything as he protects you in that travel energy. There's this idea that Christ is with you. like you're protected. Moods are indicators of my emotional set points. When you continue to focus on any thought, it becomes increasingly easy to continue to focus on it because the law of attraction is making more thoughts like it available to you. And so, emotionally speaking, you're developing a mood or you're achieving a habitual vibrational groove, so to speak, or a set point. So, if you're stuck in a groove like a record, you're going to just keep repeating that song, going round and round and around and around, repeating, repeating, repeating. And it's going to be easier and easier to do it because you're focused on it and you're just like feeding it more detail. And then the universe is just like, oh, okay, there's a lot more to give you in regards to this matter because you can't put it down and you just keep giving it all these details. And so I'm going to just keep giving it to you over and over and over and over. So you just need to lift the needle out of the groove and move it into a different groove on the record, right? Hopefully a lighter feeling groove. Divine Masculine. I'm pulling both these cards at the same time because they mean the same thing. Show the world the real you. And seeing as the star was in reverse, again, I'm going to say, show the world the real you. Please do it. You're going to feel amazing because what lights you up in this starseed energy is showing the world the real you. So show the world the real you. Could you please, 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 please. And I'm asking nicely because I'm not entirely willing to shout at you the way that Spirit is wanting to right now. Show the world the real you, please. You are getting Hawk Spirit. Let Spirit be your guide, and you're getting the protection message. Are you noticing red flags and perhaps saying to yourself, oh, I love this card. Oh, what pretty flags, and giving them no more thought? Hawk Spirit has arrived to tell you to stop and listen to the messages from Spirit. Are you getting red flags? Get 6 cards that are like, show the world the real you. Stop and listen to the messages from Spirit. Take the time to observe the patterns you are seeing and do not dismiss your intuition, even if the messages you receive are not supported by evidence in the physical world. If it feels illogical to listen right now, listen anyway. Sometimes you might want certain signs and messages to mean what you want them to mean, interpreting them through the lens of wishful thinking, a projection of your desire to see things a certain way. Of course, when you do that, you rarely find yourself where you want to be. Take heart. Spirit loves you so much and does not want you to get hurt, but to align with Spirit's plan for your highest good. Listen and follow the signs and check your motives when you are being selective with your hearing. Again, show the world the real you. If we get that card again for you tomorrow, bitch, I'm going to be mean. All right. We're at the bottom of the deck now for the twins. These are the things you are in alignment in regards to that you are both needing messages about. You are both in the light attributes of the Samaritan. So you have stopped exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. You've stopped needing recognition. You're like, you know what? I'm going to do this for Divine Feminine, whether she likes it or not, whether she thinks she likes it or not. Like, I know what my intentions are, and I'm doing this out of my heart, and I don't need to be recognized for it. This is just, I can't do anything else except express this way. You're both in this energy. You don't need this appreciation from someone else. You don't need this recognition. You're giving it to yourself. So you're not doing things out of this manipulative place anymore because you have to admit to yourselves that you were doing things from a manipulative place. You were afraid about keeping that person. So you did things to try to make sure you could control whether they left or not. And either it was overtly controlling, as in you can't do this, this, or that, or I'll leave you. or it was insidious, as in like using moods and behaviors and pity and victim behavior to try to get sympathy, pity, use guilt, etc. Whatever tactics you learned as children to manipulate others around you, you were engaging in them. And so no longer stopped interact you've no longer stopped. You're no longer interacting this way. You've stopped interacting this way. You are now doing things because it feels good to do them, because you love this person, and you are giving yourself appreciation and recognition and not expecting the other person to be responsible for that for you. Your guardian angel is here to support you in child energy. So being childlike, you feel like children. You feel like children. It's also about children in your life, how important they are, about the potential for future children, about any children you might already have, about being connected with them and being in the energy with them, and the importance and vitality of them in this connection that you have together. And I think it's a little bit of like, don't be too childish. Don't be too childish right now. Such a fine balance. Be like a child, but not too childish. I am becoming consciously aware of my inner being. We keep getting this card. So you're getting it. You are getting it. It's just an acknowledgement that you're getting that your inner being gives you a sense of how far you are from your desire. And that as long as you stay connected to that wellness, that inner being, that all is well feeling, all is well. There are some adjustments required between the two of you. We see them. There's a little fear, a little anxiety out for both of you. You have to make those adjustments. But again, you didn't get a ton of cards today. It was a really reasonable amount. How are you being called to... Holy shit. Holy shit. How are you being called to step up and lead? It's not about this card that I'm freaking out. First of all, Butterfly Spirit card is the 11 card, right? And I didn't mention that. And the next animal card spirit we're getting is the 10 card. And I think it's interesting because it's Mercury in retrograde, and so that's regressive. It's like 11 to 10. But wait till you see what it is. All right. So the Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Right now, both of you are being called to step up and take a lead in some way in your lives in regards to one another. But you need to go into that Priestess energy. Really look within, really ask, how am I being called to step up and lead? Divine Feminine, your 8 of Pentacles was in reverse, and there was a need there for you to start working and not be so distracted by the Emperor energy. And Divine Masculine, you're called to make that choice. That 2 of Swords, you're called to make that choice. So some aspect of that, as you start to engage in those behaviors, that's you stepping up and leading. And here's the card that I said, oh my God, about, because it is Buffalo Spirit, also in its reverse, which means the protection message is applicable, and it's the abundant universe will provide. And if you know about my band, Pearl and the Prayers, and you know about my music, then you know that I have a song called Bison and Butterfly, and it is a duet between the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine energy inside of ourselves. And when I wrote it, I didn't know that. I just wrote it very much in the moment, and then went back and listened to it and was like, oh, interesting. So yeah, very significant for me to see these 2 cards here together. The protection message from Buffalo Spirit is, when Buffalo Spirit visits you with a message of protection, he is asking you to shift your thinking from poverty consciousness to one where you trust the universe will provide. Have you been falling into financial insecurity, worrying that there will not be enough money in the future? Have you been stressing and feeling sorry for yourself, worrying that because you have no romantic relationship now, you will never have one? Do you see scarcity where there is in fact abundance? Are you comparing yourself to others and falling short? Self-pity, entitlement, fear, and lack are all thought viruses that seduce you into darkness. Buffalo Spirit nudges you to make a gratitude list and be mindful of your thoughts at this time. Even if outer events have happened to challenge your beliefs in abundance, outer conditions are temporary. If you are suffering from the malaise of fear that you are impoverished, realize that it is only poverty of perception and perspective. Prayer, communion with your higher power, and gratitude, coupled with compassionate, selfless service, will snap you right out of it. Be thankful for the tiniest things and say affirmations. Then you will remember abundance is the true nature of the world. Okay. Humbled again by my job as a reader. Okay, let's now close out this reading with some goddess energy. We're doing a goddess practice where we take any divine feminine energy from any modality that we practice or that resonates with us. And we're doing a little meditation, 15 minutes at some point today, 2 hands over your heart, and you're saying as a mantra, my heart is the heart of the goddess. So we're doing this because we have honored the divine masculine energy and God energy for some time, and we've neglected to honor the divine feminine. So I pull a card from different traditions so we can look at just different goddess energy that's existed through time and across cultures, understanding how important this was at one point in time and how we need to reclaim its importance. So my heart is the heart of the goddess, picturing any energy. This energy is very interesting. This energy is Medusa energy. And it's interesting that there's a horse for Medusa. It says, when Medusa was slain, the winged horse Pegasus sprang from her blood. The Greeks portrayed Medusa as a horrifying gorgon, an ugly woman with snakes for hair. Anyone who looked at her face was turned to stone. Yet her name has the same root as medicine and measure, and derives from a Greek word meaning to protect, to rule over. Medusa is a moon goddess, the triple-headed great goddess in her death aspect. She is associated with blood, so to meet her is to meet the mysteries of moon blood or menstrual blood, sacred and terrible in many mythologies, the source of life. Medusa is a serpent energy, enlivening, terrifying, impersonal. Somehow Medusa, a symbol of growth and generation that dies so that from death may come life, became a symbol of fear. For to look directly upon the divine is to face a terrifying reality. Pegasus is instinct, wisdom, imagination, life force, and intuitive understanding. Wow. Really resonating for me. Medusa. All right. I hope that this was a helpful reading for you today and that you have a lovely rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy my leisurely Friday where I do not schedule myself and probably feel guilty if I don't work on music. So I'll probably do that anyway because I really want to finish the track. Why? I don't know why I resist. I don't know why. All right. So I'm going to go do that. Make myself do that. Everybody have a lovely day today. Take care. And I will see you tomorrow morning, probably much earlier here on Tuned In Tarot. Have a good day, everybody.